Mowing the lawn in the heat, especially in Arizona, is terrible. I've been wanting a robot lawnmower ever since we moved in, but I've never used one before because we had fake grass in our last house, so I had a million questions. Will I have to baby it around things like kids' toys, tree roots, and big holes in the ground? Can it handle extreme heat? And of course, the main question, will I really not have to mow my lawn ever again? We have a pretty good sized lawn for our backyard, and Rob from the hookup said the Navimow X430 was the best robot lawnmower he tested. It can mow up to an acre, and I was like, yeah, I want that one. But just because it's the best on paper, how well is it gonna really handle all the things I'm gonna throw at it? I reached out to Segway about using their Navimow X430, and they were like, yeah, we'll send it to you and sponsor the video. So thanks to Segway for supporting the channel, and I'm still gonna show you my real experience using it, the good and the bad, starting with the setup. Unboxing it was pretty straightforward since the mower was already put together. Just watch your back lifting it up. It's heavy. Also included in the box is the charging dock, some accessories, and a local RTK antenna. I was a little confused about the RTK antenna, like, do I need to set this up? Well, for most people, no. Segway recommends using the network RTK and cellular data if it's available, you know, like the signal from the sky. And don't worry, it's not an extra fee, it's free for life, so of course I'm going to use that. It's just one less thing to set up. Next, I had to decide where to put the charging dock. When I initially envisioned where the robot lawnmower would charge up, I pictured it under the patio. Well, the charging dock is supposed to be in a clear line of sight with the sky, you know, for a clear signal. And the X430 is IP66 rated, so it's dust and waterproof. That way it can be out in the elements, but you can get a little garage to protect it. Cute, but I don't need that. I didn't want it on the edge of our lawn, blocking anything or creating a trip hazard for our kids. So I ended up putting it here next to my detached shop. I was worried it wouldn't be able to climb up the curb to charge, but clearly I underestimated it since the wheels have no problem. It's basically a small speed bump for it. In the box, there are these big screws that anchor down the charging dock so it doesn't move while docking or undocking, and they work great. Now I was excited to have it map out the yard and have it start mowing, but the Navimow app was being super confusing and I couldn't get it fully set up. Then I updated the firmware on the robot and everything started working fine. So if you're setting it up, don't panic, just update the firmware. To map out my backyard, I could let it do it automatically or drive the robot around myself. I think it's fun to remote control robots, so of course I went with manual. I drove around the perimeter of the yard, and once I made it to the starting spot, it was done. If you're like me and don't drive it around perfectly the first time, you can always do it again later or fix a spot in the map by drawing a line. Now, drawing on the map sounds easy, but it's very challenging. Every little movement to adjust a point is recorded, so I always ended up with tons of squiggly lines. I do like how the map shows an image of the ground so I can make the border accurate between the grass and the curb or whatever. It's just too difficult to draw the lines. Maybe it's something Segway could update in the future. Of course, there are other options in the map that can be added, like no-go zones, but the X430 does an extremely good job navigating with the combination of the network RTK and onboard camera, so I actually didn't need any of that, which I'll show you in a second. I was so excited to have a robot mow my lawn for me. I grew up here in Arizona, and I mowed my parents' lawn for years as a teenager. I can't tell you how many times I wished it was automated when it was over 110 degrees outside like it is right now. So I went to start the robot lawnmower and the app told me I'm supposed to manually cut the grass first. What? After all that? Are you kidding me? Well, I still had the robot lawnmower go around a little bit just to make sure at least it works. It did great, even with the grass being pretty long. As you can see, the edge of the lawn still needs to be trimmed just like using a normal lawnmower, so I edged the grass and manually mowed it. I bagged up a lot of cut grass, and that's why I have to manually mow it first. The robot lawnmower is designed to mow frequently, like every day, and only takes off the small amount of grass that grew from the previous day. That way there aren't any big grass clippings left on the ground and it kind of just disappears. Pretty amazing. Now I can finally send the X430 to mow the lawn. And there were two really big things that surprised me. One was how quiet it is. I had heard people say it was quiet, but this is almost silent. It was shocking. The other big surprise was how evenly it cuts the grass. The grass almost looks like the fake turf grass in my previous house for looking so perfect. Well, besides some of the dead dirt patches, we'll pretend those don't exist. But it was night and day different from my big lawnmower for how evenly the grass was cut. The X430 uses 2 discs with small spinning razor blades, so that's why it looks better, and it comes with replacement blades that you can swap out. It handled thick grass no problem and chomped through sticks, so it's plenty strong. I can adjust the mowing height in the app or even on the robot, since there's a screen with some physical buttons. The range is 0.75 inches up to 4 inches, and I went with 1.75 inches because I like the grass pretty short. I have Bermuda grass, and I think that's an ideal height for it, but each zone can be cut at a different length, so it's very flexible for what you want. One of the really big things I noticed that sets apart the X430 from the other robot lawnmowers is the front wheels. They can basically turn 90 degrees for what Segway calls zero-turn maneuvering. So sharp turns around corners of my backyard are no problem. And since the wheels actually turn, they're not being dragged across the grass like Omni wheels, allowing the X430 to do less damage to the grass when turning. Sweet. I was curious if this robot lawnmower could mow all our grass in just one charge. So I had it mow everything in the back and front, and the battery was at 27% when it finished. I'm happy it can do it all in one go, which it did in just under 2 hours. Not bad. Our actual lawn is about 8,300 square feet, so much less than a full acre. And the way it can mow a full acre is when it runs out of battery, the robot automatically charges back up and then keeps doing that until everything is mowed. Just something to be aware of if you have a really large yard. Okay, so this is great and all, but what happens when the X430 faces off with my family? Especially my dog Annie. Look at her. She's putting her face in that sandcastle toy and running around completely blind. She has to know that that's a bad decision. She's not going to do that again. Wait. Oh no, she's doing it again and almost runs into a tree. She is absolutely crazy and loves to chew our kids' toys and leave them on the lawn. Segway says the X430 can detect up to 200 objects with its onboard cameras. Well, that little sand rake is a goner. Clearly Annie and the X430 have a similar taste for chewing on stuff. To be fair, that was pretty low to the ground and I'll keep those things off the yard, but the bigger stuff is easily avoided, especially people and pets. Look how close Annie got to running in front of it. Let's rewind that. Pure lunatic. But hey, the robot stopped right away and would have not have hit her because it stopped so fast. The object detection worked so well, it was actually difficult for me to film the robot because I kept getting too close to it and it would keep a safe distance away. That's why I'm not too worried about our 3-year-old walking up to look at the little black car that she calls it. Oh man. I was also worried about big tree roots sticking up and if it was just gonna rip them to shreds. But the camera always detected the roots and carefully mowed around them. It's impressive that it can just figure this out on its own, and I didn't have to mark anything on the map. There was also big holes in the ground thanks to Annie and tons of bunnies that come into our yard. Well, the X430 is all-wheel drive and dual suspension, so this is just a walk in the park for it. We don't have big slopes in our yard, but it can handle steep 40-degree slopes no problem. What about stone pathways? I was worried that the big stones would be treated as obstacles. Nope, it was just fine. There's a setting to have it mow at night or not, and by default, night mowing is turned off, and right when the sun is setting, it will finish for the day. So I turned on night mowing and had it keep going. There are 2 headlights that automatically turn on, and it had no issues mowing in nearly complete darkness. It finished and docked the same as if it was bright out. But what about the biggest hurdle, the Arizona heat? It's about 110 and scorching outside. Well, I sent that poor robot lawnmower out in the middle of the day while I sat in the air conditioning. It mowed and didn't break a sweat, finishing the entire yard in extreme heat without any issues. This was all shocking to me. I'm used to robot vacuums needing some extra fine tuning so they don't get stuck or go where they're not supposed to go. But this wasn't the case with the X430. It's completely hands-off. Sure, I had to adjust the initial boundary when it was first mapping because it was popping up on the curb a little bit, but after that, no interaction for me. It's like it doesn't need me. It's kind of sad. Alright, it can handle the difficult environments, but what about automating the X430 to run every day without me lifting a finger? In the Navimow app, I can set a schedule to mow all the zones or a specific one at a certain time and day of the week. The most frustrating thing is that I can't copy and paste the schedule from one day to the other. It might be the first smart home device that I've used that doesn't have this feature. Like if I wanted to mow every day at the same time, but I changed my mind and wanted to mow an hour earlier, I have to edit each day. Come on. I was curious how it was going to mow the front and the back. In the app, you can add a new zone, and I just remote controlled it over to the front grass, and it created a channel for me. Basically a path the robot can go to and from a zone. So to mow the front, I had to open up the gate and let it out. But here's the kicker. When the X430 is done with the front lawn zone, it heads back on that channel to mow the back. Well, if the gate is closed, it won't notify me that it finished the front zone or that it's stuck waiting to get back. I just have to keep an eye on it in the app, which is not ideal. The other option is Mowgate. And no, it's not a controversial thing like Watergate or Deflategate. Mowgate is an automated gate that can be purchased separately, which can let the robot go to the front and back all by itself. It'll even wait till your pet is not around so it can't escape. Pretty cool. There are also some anti-theft features. You can set an alarm if it goes outside a geofence or if it's lifted, and it will also send a notification. This might be controversial, but I would like an option where if someone was trying to steal it, it would turn on the blades to try to defend itself. No one's going to want to try to steal it with that and lose some fingers. I doubt that'll ever be added. On top, there's a little rain sensor that can automatically stop mowing if it's raining. Then it'll start mowing again after a certain time you set. As for smart home compatibility, it works with Google and Amazon. There is a Hacks integration for Home Assistant, but it's in alpha, so I'm probably going to wait a bit longer before trying it out. Because right now I'm pretty happy with it just mowing the lawn every day at the same time. And it has been such a relief not having to mow out in the heat. The weather station in our backyard said it felt like 116 degrees outside, and watching the X430 mow the grass from the nice inside air conditioning felt pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it felt like I was beating the system. Sure, I still have to edge the grass every once in a while, but that doesn't take long, and it's crazy to look out in our backyard and see perfectly cut grass every day. I enjoy our grass way more now that it's always the perfect length and never overgrown. No more blocking out a few hours a week to mow the lawn. Now I can spend that time with my family or doing other things. So overall, the X430 is a super high quality flagship option, and now that it's set up, it doesn't require any effort from me. If you have a larger yard, especially with slopes, this is a great lawnmower. I'll have links to everything down in the description, and thanks for watching. Hey, I thought you were gonna walk the dog.
I'm walking the dog right now.
Whoa! Hey, that's really smart.